So, welcome, and today we're going to talk about the eighth module in the wealth management series, which is about getting the right attitude. Remember that your attitude determines your altitude. And this is a very famous saying which basically means that how high you reach in your life, in your career, it's your attitude that's going to determine that. So it's so important to get the right attitude when we are talking about building huge wealth. Just like any other goal or any other milestone that you want to achieve in life, the right attitude will set you towards achieving great wealth. So ask yourself these questions. So many times in life you might feel that you're not very sure of why do you exist? What's your why in life? What's your purpose of existing on this planet? What's your mission? What is that one thing you can live for and you can die for? So many times you feel that what am I doing here? And that's the question you need to answer. That's a big part of the attitude that we're talking about. So this entire module we're going to really, it's not a technical module, it's more of dealing with your softer aspects, and it's so critical. So many times we focus so much on our technical skills and understanding the technical details of things, and we forget that what matters most is how you deal with the situations that come to you, and therefore what matters most is your attitude. So the first step in setting the right attitude is setting your why, setting your purpose of life, setting your mission of life, and there are various techniques that we use to do that. You can follow any of those techniques. Probably we will not be able to cover those techniques in this module, but there are a lot of scientific techniques available which can help you discover your why slowly. Do you get disturbed by some setbacks in your life or in your day-to-day routines? Your child's school bus didn't come on time. Does that disturb you, or you take it in your stride? You got late for your office because of the traffic jam, which was quite unexpected in the morning. Do you get disturbed with that? These are small setbacks in your day-to-day life, but they can be bigger setbacks as well. So how do you deal with those setbacks? Do you get disturbed, or you are ready to take on the challenge? That's driven by your attitude, and it's so critical to have resilience to fight back against all the setbacks. Do you blame someone else for your situation? My parents, my friends, my elder brothers and sisters should have told me this. I would not have wasted so much time otherwise. Or my wife should have done it like this. Or my husband should have done it like this. Situation would have been very different in our house in that case. But stop blaming. Because wherever you are, whatever you are because of your decisions, you are because of your attitude. So stop blaming. That's the first step to improvement. Stop blaming anyone else for your situations. Take ownership, take charge. You are responsible for wherever you are. That's a big part of your attitude. You face insurmountable circumstances and obstacles when you take up a difficult goal. Sometimes you feel, right, I took up a goal, and as soon as I take up any goal, suddenly it becomes so difficult. It looks so easy from the outside, but as I enter it, it becomes so difficult for me. There's so many challenges that come to me. It doesn't come to anybody else. Big thinking mistake. Nobody has ever been successful without overcoming the challenges that you're seeing today. Success demands that from the person who is seeking it. So many times you feel during the journey that it may not be worth the effort. Now that's quite related to your point number one, which is your mission of life. Many times in the journey of whether accumulating huge wealth or in the journey of pursuing any of your goals, you might feel that it's just not worth it, it's too much time, it's too much effort, it's too much pain. But when your mission of life is in front of you, when you're clear why you are doing it, perhaps you will not feel that much pain. You don't think that a penny saved can significantly impact your overall wealth. Well, that's quite related to the topic that we are talking about, that's wealth management. That's quite directly related to this topic. But the question here is, how do you treat money? Do you really respect your money? Now if I ask you to look at your wallet right now, your purse right now, and see how you have kept your money in your wallet. Are there crumpled notes lying here and there? Are they well aligned, well set, arranged in an order? So that's just one indicator of how you treat your money. Okay, and do you really allow the money to be wasted, or you take care of it? You think twice before taking an expenditure decision. So that's all about how you treat money, and that goes a big way in accumulating huge wealth and has a direct relation to the attitude towards money. So these are some of the questions that I want you to ponder upon and think whether you have the right attitude towards being truly wealthy. You may learn all the techniques, you may learn all the other principles, but if your attitude is not right, it's not really going to take you very far in this journey. So what's in it for you? So you're going to understand the 8th wealth creation principle, which is get the right attitude. And we already studied 7 other principles till date. The amazing power of compounding, paying yourself first, starting early in life, getting started, sharpening your financial saw regularly, diversifying, and leveraging the 4 levers, especially the 4th one. And today we're going to learn about this time-tested principle. In fact, this is a set of principles under the section of get the right attitude, and how you can really use these to generate huge wealth for you. Getting the right attitude, some of the traits that you can really see in a person with the right attitude are as follows. The person knows his or her reason of achieving any goal very, very clearly. Now, why is that important to know the reason? Let's take an example that you're driving a car but you do not know where you're going. How interesting, isn't it? You do not know where you're going, but you're driving your car. How good is going to be your journey? How happening is going to be your journey? How satisfied you're going to be with your journey in the end? You'll be clueless. You'll be just wandering here and there. After every few kilometers, you'll think, what are you trying to do? Because you do not know where you are headed. Similarly in life, it's a journey. You must know where you're headed. You must know your mission. You must know your purpose. Why you're doing it. Where are you headed with this? Unless you know that, you're going to just wander in your life. Few years in this goal, a few years in that goal, and you're wondering that you're not being able to achieve anything really, and the time will just pass by. So this is one thing which you will clearly see in wealthy people who have the special trait of they very clearly know why they're doing what they're doing. Second trait you would see in people with the right attitude is the focus on the problem, the focus on the challenge that's in front of them, and the focus on the solution to that problem rather than finding the culprit. And we see it very often in our workplaces, we see it in our homes. As soon as even a small problem comes, the first attention goes to who is responsible. The shoes are not in their place. Who is responsible? Who didn't keep the shoes in place? Okay, we're getting late for the school. We're getting late for the office. Who is responsible? Okay, you didn't serve me the breakfast in time. You didn't get up on time. So these we are focusing on the culprit. We are not focusing on solving the problem. We're getting late for office. Okay, what needs to be done to cover up the lost time? That is where the solution lies. The challenge is we're getting late for office. How are we going to overcome it? By speeding it up now, instead of focusing on because of whom we're getting late, right? So focus on the solution. The winners, the people with the right attitude, the moment a challenge comes to them, they don't even think a moment about who has caused the challenge. Why did the challenge come? No, they're focused straight away on the solution. And that is where they save a lot of time and energy and use that time and energy to really work towards their goals and dreams, and they're able to achieve it. Whether it's huge wealth or whether it's any other goal in life. So focus on the solution. Forget about who caused it. It's not easy because we see this happening all around us. But you got to do that if you got to be a winner, if you got to be really, really wealthy. No one can disturb you. Stop blaming others. So many times we feel that, okay, this guy, because of this guy, I'm in this situation today. Because of this guy, my mood is off. I can't concentrate. He's disturbing. She is disturbing. No one can disturb you. People can play triggers around you, but finally how you feel depends on absolutely on you. You often feel that obstacles and setbacks are coming too much in your life, and the winners, the people with the right attitude, would typically take obstacles and setbacks as an opportunity to dream on, as an opportunity to find the next possible way, as an opportunity to find a better way. So that's typically how people who really build on great wealth take on obstacles and setbacks in their life. They really look forward to such obstacles and setbacks because these obstacles and setbacks push them to think in a different direction, push them to innovate something new, push them to really achieve something in a different manner. So that's the kind of attitude you need to bring in if you really want to go far ahead in terms of wealth creation. There is big power in the small. That's another key trait of the winners that really go on to build wealth. They do not ignore the power of small. Small is big for them. And it's only these small habits, these small traits in your life that are really going to give you big results. The only thing it needs is consistency, hard work, dedication, commitment, and it's all driven by your reason, your why you're doing it. So these traits become very, very critical, and it's very important that these traits are adopted if you really go on to accumulate huge wealth. We wanted to discuss more in detail about knowing your reason, your why, because that's one of the key drivers which is going to really build the right attitude for you. Your why determines your actions. Now that's very, very typical. If you look at, if somebody is speeding up to office in a traffic jam, there must have been a reason for that. Maybe he's got late, maybe there's an urgent meeting which he wants to call once he reaches office. Maybe there is an appointment with someone, maybe someone is not well at home. We do not know, but there's definitely a reason for the action that somebody is taking. So your actions are driven by your reasons, and having a great strong reason is going to result in strong good actions. So that is why knowing your reason becomes one of the key attributes for becoming wealthy. Your dream or reason for striving for big wealth or financial freedom needs to be 100% clear in your mind. So you got to be absolutely clear, why do you want to be financially free? Why do you want to be wealthy? What are you going to do with all the money that you're going to have, or all the time that you're going to have? So remember, financial freedom is a state where you have time, where you have money. Neither time nor money are a problem in your life anymore. So what are you going to do with those? If you're not clear, what are you going to do with those? And if you're just pursuing great wealth, and if you're pursuing financial freedom, my suggestion would be not to do it, because you're going to leave it in between anyway. Because the moment you face obstacles, and they're going to come in huge numbers, the moment you face obstacles, you're going to drop these goals, because you do not have a strong reason to pursue these goals, to push these goals, to push yourself to push for these goals. So be 100% clear why you're doing whatever you're doing. When the dream is big enough, facts do not count. And this is one of my favorite lines. And the fact could be that you're late in starting for your goal. The fact could be that health is not on your side. The fact could be you have family constraints because of which you do not get the required time to push for your goals. The fact could be anything which is an obstacle, you feel as an obstacle in achieving your goals. But all these are facts. What you only got to do to make these facts immaterial is make your dream bigger than all these facts. So if your dream is big enough, these facts do not matter at all. So again, coming back to the same point, whether it's financial freedom or whether it's wealth creation or mastery in any sports or arts, any extraordinary achievement that you want to have in life, it's all driven by a dream, a reason of achieving it. And people who have strong dreams, big reasons, they're going to overcome all the obstacles that are going to come their way. So your dream will lift you up in tough times during the journey, and tough times will come for sure. So you'll be tested. You'll be tested many times whether you're really capable of being posted on that extraordinary podium where people can appreciate your success. You'll be tested for that. And you will come out successful only if you overcome the obstacles that have come in the way. And you'll be able to overcome those obstacles only if you had a strong dream. So having a right reason and a dream is so critical. And your ultimate reason should give you happiness and satisfaction at the end. Because while you're striving for all this, if you do not know why you're doing it, in the end you might get a hollow sense of achievement. Feeling that, oh, I spent so many years trying to achieve this, but having achieved it, I really don't know whether it was worth it. Okay, so that's a hollow sense of achievement. So if you have a strong reason, you will avoid this hollow sense of achievement and you will really feel happy about what you have done. Focus on solving the problem. We talked about it earlier, but I think this is another key aspect where a lot of people tend to do mistakes. So we thought we'll have one slide on focus on solving the problem. As you face large obstacles, you will need more focused energy to get through them. It's very simple logic. The more focus you give on a particular point, the more energy you create. The more energy you have, the more is the probability of passing through and overcoming that obstacle. The larger the obstacle, the larger the energy you need, and the bigger is your success once you overcome the obstacles. Okay, if your focus is diverted instead of the solution, you're started focusing on who has created the problem, why has the problem been created, what could I have done to avoid it, and da. If you're focusing on all these things, then your focus on the solution is diverted. And the moment your focus is diverted, you do not have enough energy to push it through. And then you will not be able to overcome the obstacle. It's a very, very simple logic. Just like a piece of paper in normal sunlight, nothing happens to it, but the moment you focus that sunlight to a small beam of ray through a lens or any other mirror, the paper starts burning. And that happens because you've focused or channelized all the energy at one particular point, and the moment you take out that lens, nothing happens to the paper. So focusing is so critical if you really want to overcome big obstacles. And there are many other ways which can help you to channelize your energy towards your goal, which of course are beyond the scope of this particular module. But for you right now, focusing on the solution is the key. Get into thinking mode immediately as soon as you face an obstacle. Immediately, forget everything else, forget all the diversions, forget what will be the consequences if you're not able to solve it, forget who caused it, forget everything else except how you're going to solve it. That's the only focus you need. Yes, all this takes time and effort to build, and that's why success is so rare. It's rare because people can learn the technology, people can learn the technical skills to building wealth or to achieving any other goal, but building the right attitude may take years and decades, and maybe entire lifetime may be short for it. So that's why you see success being so rare. And that's the criticality of this particular module. While you may learn the techniques for wealth management, learning the right attitude is going to finally decide where you reach. A human mind is immensely powerful and capable of solving any problem. So you've got to have trust on yourself that you can solve the problem. You have the mind, you have the ability to solve the problem. That's the confidence you should have on yourself before you strive towards any particular goal. Having that confidence, you should channelize all the energy, all your mind into solving the problem. If you have not found the solution, it is still not the end. Now that's the level of confidence you got to have on your mind, that if you have not solved it, if you have not yet overcome the obstacle, it's not the end, you got to try again. Life is not a race, it's a marathon. It's going to take time. Let people move ahead of you. Let there be no competition. It's a marathon, and if you run a marathon, you would know it's a race against yourself, nobody else. It doesn't matter what time you finish, you gotta be finished, that's it. Stop blaming others. You and only you are responsible for your current state, no one else. Stop blaming others right now. This is one trait we see in a lot of people when we talk about financial freedom to our readers. Many of them come back and say, had somebody told me this 10 years back, I would have been a very different person today. I would have saved so much money. I would have taken different decisions in life and so on and so forth. Forget all that. Stop blaming anybody else. So wherever you are, whatever you are, is because of you. You got to take that ownership. Unless you take that ownership, nothing better will happen in future. You can keep blaming. Nothing's going to change for you. Similarly, a lot of people also get disturbed by this. So remember that no one can disturb you. Only you can disturb yourself. So take charge of yourself. Essentially what we're trying to say is take charge. Stop blaming. The buck ends at you. The moment you start owning, you will realize you started improving. So owning your current state is the first step towards improving your state. If you face obstacles, these are tests. These are necessary. These will come. These have to come. These are going to filter out people who are not serious about their goals. And the way you have exams and tests in every school, in every college, purpose is they want to filter out people who are not ready to go to the next level. And similarly, these obstacles, these tests are exams from him to filter out people who are not serious. And if you're saying that you don't want to give the exam or you're afraid of the exam, then of course you're not ready for the next level. You've got to prepare more. And he's going to give you unlimited opportunities to attempt this test. And the moment you pass, he's going to take you to the next level. So each setback is the right time for you to dream on and take off. As we talked earlier, each setback is an opportunity, and people with the right attitude, they are looking for such opportunities. They want setbacks to happen. They want obstacles to come so that they can think different and try something different in life. So that's an opportunity to dream on and take off. Big power of the small, that's one last aspect we wanted to touch, because we most often, in an attempt to create big wealth, forget the power of small. Never underestimate the power of the small and the simple. The biggest success comes by following the smaller aspects of life, but of course doing it consistently and with discipline over a long period of time. But that's where you will see. If you go and ask Sachin Tendulkar how many times he would practice, how much time he would spend practicing the same technique, simple techniques again and again and again, you will be surprised. A champion like him had to practice, but remember that he became a champion because he practiced. The biggest success would come by following the smaller things. Small investments, small savings, simple habits, practiced over time can create wonders for you. So never underestimate the power of small. So the right attitude will lead you to the right altitude. Just to give you an example, what we have seen typically with our readers who invest in stock markets, and they tend to feel that they lose out on a lot of money in stock markets over a long run. So dealing with stocks is very, very similar to any other goal that you may have in life. And what it needs is learning part in terms of technology is not even 20%. Or learning in terms of calculations or in terms of the data that you need to collect for a company. All this is just 20% of the part. The 80% of the part in making money out of stocks is your attitude. Once you're convinced with what you have taken a decision, how can you stick to that decision in spite of the fact that everybody around you, including the media, the newspapers, the TV channels, and the people around you, and the colleagues and friends and family, and everybody says it's not the right time to invest in a particular company, but you feel your calculations say it's the right time. So that is where your attitude will count. Can you still keep investing? Do you have confidence in your abilities? your calculations? Can you insulate yourself from what's happening around you? That's where your attitude will count. So, the right attitude will lead you to the right altitude. Creating wealth is less about learning the techniques, but more about adapting the right attitude. So, while we talked about so many techniques, talking about attitude becomes so critical and vital if you're really going to create huge wealth. And one of the suggestions which we would definitely want to give you is to read a lot of self-help books, because attitude will not come by reading one presentation or by reading one book or just by learning some concepts. It's an everyday practice. You will need everyday learning, and that comes from reading a lot of self-help books. They'll set your perspective right. You will learn from the people who have been most successful what kind of attitude they had. Of all the attitude traits, your dream or your reason is your biggest asset. And I personally figured out that having a strong reason is going to be your biggest contributor in terms of all the other attribute traits put together. So be very clear of why you want to build huge wealth, what you want to do with that time and that wealth that you're going to create. And once that mission of yours is clear in your mind, then not only this creating wealth becomes easier, it becomes more satisfying and a more humbling experience. So that's it for this particular module. I wish you the best of the attitude. Write to us at help@manoj-arora.com, or you can also visit www.manoj-arora.com. Thank you.